Hi viewers, welcome back to my channel. This is Zob's Wearables Tutorials. I believe we had a very nice day, and I want to say thank you again to our new subscribers, those that just subscribed to our channel, and for the views, the likes, the comments. We are really grateful for your efforts in supporting this channel. Alright, for today we are going to be making a basic bodice. So a basic bodice is one of the fundamentals in fashion and designing or sewing. So once you're able to know your basic bodice, you can easily work with any other thing. This video should have been one of the first videos on this channel, but I think I forgot to upload it and I lost that one, so I'm making another pattern of a basic bodice. Alright, the measurements we'll be needing the shoulder, the bust, the waist, the half length, the hip measurement, or the length of the blouse. Okay, first of all, I have folded my fabric into two, my pattern paper into two. I actually want to cut both front and back together, so I folded it in two pieces, as you can see, and because I'll be cutting both front and back together, I've already left 1.5 inches seam allowance. That's for the zip allowance for this pattern. So we are going to start our work this way. So the first measurement we need, the shoulder measurement. Like we all know, our shoulder is to be divided by 2. So my shoulder measurement is 16 inches. So 16 inches divided by 2, we have 8 inches. 16 inches divided by 2, we have 8 inches. But where you'll be adding sleeve to your dress, you can add ½ inch for the sleeve allowance. But this is just a pattern we can use to manipulate other measurements. Alright. So for our neckline, I'll be taking 3 inches. From this 3 inches is where I will be taking my shoulder slant from. So usually we would just take it like 3 inches, 5 inches. That's total of 8 inches for the shoulder. So the shoulder measurement 16 inches divided by 2, we have 8 inches. Then from the shoulder we measure to our bust point. My shoulder to bust is 10 inches. My shoulder to waistline, mine is 16 inches. And shoulder to my hip line is 24 inches. So I'll go ahead and connect these lines and equally label them. Okay, so the first line is my shoulder to the bust. This is the shoulder line, SH. The bust line, shoulder to bust 10 inches, half length 16 inches, and then to my hip line 24 inches. Alright, so the next thing to do now is to mark our shoulder slant. Shoulder slant, you come down by 1 inch from where you have the shoulder point and connect it to the 3 inches of the neckline. Okay, now the essence of the slant is we already know that our shoulder is not straight, so the shoulder is slanted a bit, so you just have to make it 1 inch or 0.75 inches, whichever one you choose to use is okay. Okay, so from my shoulder slant, I will be marking my armhole line, which is going to serve as my chest line. So my armhole, total of my armhole is 16 inches. 16 inches divided by 2, we have 8 inches. So from the slant, I came down by 8 inches, and I'm going to connect this line together. All right, so this is what we have, and this other one we can call it our chest line, or you just call it armhole line, whichever one you want to call it is okay, so long as you know what you're doing. Okay, now the next measurement now is to insert our dart. So but before we go into the dart, let me quickly finish up with the neckline. So the neckline, like I said, we are taking a neck width of 3 inches, and I'll be coming down by 3 inches as well, making it a neckline of 3 by 3. So with your curve, you can go ahead and connect the dots. So this is for the front neckline, and the back neckline, I'll be making it 3 by 1 inch. Okay, please note that all our measurements are coming from the place of fold. Like I told us, this is the folded part, and this is the open end. The open end is where you're going to insert your armhole marks, while the closed end, that's the folded part, is where your neckline should be. Please do not forget that. All right, so for our darts, we are going to be placing our bust span measurement first. That's nipple to nipple measurement, and mine is 8 inches, so I'll be marking it 4 inches. You can add your sewing allowance, ½ inch, making it 4.5. So I'll go ahead and connect the line. Okay, so this is our bust span line. The vertical line we can see is our bust span line. Now from our bust span line, or from our bust line rather, come down by 1 inch or 1.5 inches. So I like coming down by 1.5. If you come down by 1, it's okay. If you want 1.5, it's still okay. Okay, so from the bust point, I came down by 1.5 inches, and on my waistline, I'll be coming up by 2 inches. So this is where my dart leg is going to stop, and this is where it's going to start. Then on the waistline, we are going to be opening the dart by half inch on both sides. So ½ inch on both sides, and we'll connect it to the bust point and the waistline, like so. Okay, so this is what we have. You can see our dart is well positioned. Now the remaining measurement for this, we've not taken our armhole curve. Now to get the armhole curve, I'll measure my armhole depth. I have 8 inches divided by 2, I have 4 inches. Then towards the neckline, I'm going to come in by ½ inch and connect. You can use your curve, or better still, use your straight ruler to connect this part, like so. Okay, now we are cutting both front and back, do not forget that. And the back neckline, you do not need to come in with a ½ inch, you just take it along the straight line. Okay, so this is our back neckline, our back armhole, and this is the front armhole, the one that went inside. Okay, now for the front bodice, we know that we usually have the bust dart for the front, which helps in giving the bust area a very nice shape. So to determine the bust dart, we are going to be measuring from the chest line, which is where our armhole leg is, to our waistline, and divide it by 2. So my chest line, from my chest line to my waistline, is 7.25 divided by 2. Okay, we're marking it here. So from the midpoint of my chest line and my half length, you connect it to the bust point. All right, after dividing the distance between the chest line and the half length, you connect it to the bust point. Now, away from the bust point, we are going to be measuring 1 inch, and that is where our dart is going to start from. So you also deduct 1 inch from the bust point, just like you came down from the bust point when you were doing the waist dart. You are going to also bring out or mark your chest, your bust dart 1 inch before the main bust point. Then open the dart also by half inch on both sides and connect to the 1 inch before the bust point. Okay, we are done placing our dart, the bust dart and the waist dart. Now the next thing to do now is to shape our bodice. Now to shape the bodice, our bust measurement is to be placed on the chest line. The bust is 36 inches divided by 4. Okay, the bust is 38 inches, sorry, divided by 4. We have 9.5 inches. So I'm going to be measuring my 9.5 inches. Then I'll be adding 1 inch seam allowance to this pattern, but I usually add 2 inches sewing allowance when I am cutting, but my paper is not enough, it only stopped at 1 inch, so we are going to go by that. All right, then on the half length, area, the waistline, is where you place your waist measurement, and the waist is 33 inches divided by 4. We have about 8.25. Now 8.25. Then you do not forget, please, to add up the dart allowance. The dart allowance is 1 inch. 8.25 plus 1 for the dart, and then the extra 1 inch for the sewing allowance. Then the last measurement is the hip measurement, which is actually 40 inches. 40 inches divided by 4, we have 10 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance. Okay, now we are going to go ahead and connect our dots. Okay, now we've connected the bust to the waist and then to the hip line. Okay, now remember that you've added your bust dart, and this bust dart is just for the front alone. So by the time you take out this dart, or by the time you sew it in, you'll be running short of 1 inch from the full length of your top on this side. So you need to add it up before you cut. Otherwise, by the time you're done joining it, you realize that the length of your bodice is no longer equal. Then you come down by 1 inch and connect it to the tip of your block, like so. Okay, now we are done with the front. You can go ahead and add ½ inch seam allowance to the shoulder for joining, and possibly to the neck. Okay, now we are going to go ahead and cut out this piece. We'll be cutting out the back piece first, so that by the time we take out the back, we can then readjust the measurement and then finish up with the back. Okay, so this is what we should have after cutting it out for the front. As it is now, the front and back are the same except for the neckline. So I'm going to open it up, then cut out the back and remove it. So I'm going to be slitting it, then keep the back bodice aside. Okay, I've slit it open. Now for the front block, I'll be removing the zipper allowance because we do not need it for the front. We only folded it because we were cutting both front and back together. And then equally adjust the neckline of the front. okay? And also the armhole of the front. Remember, the armhole of the front and that of the back are not the same. So now we have our front and our back piece together. Okay, I've slit it, then I had to mark the zip allowance also so that it will be clear. Now the next thing to do now is to retrace the lines on our back bodice. The line did not reflect, so you just place it on top, place the front on top of the back and mark your lines. Remember, the 1 extra inch allowance we added is not part of the back measurement because of the front, they bust that. So we are going to be connecting the lines, then trim off the 1 inch extra we added because of the dart. So this is 7 as our bust line, the waistline, okay. I've transferred my dots. You can see the bust span line is also here for the back dart, and this is the bust, the waist and the hip line. So I'll go ahead and cut out the 1 extra inch allowance we added because of the bust dart for the front. It's not needed for the back, please. Then before you cut on your fabric, please do not forget to add your hemming allowance at the hem of your fabric. Okay, now for our back dart, we are going to be coming down also by 1 inch. Usually I use 9 inches from my shoulder for my back dart. 9 inches. You can use your exact bust measurement if you wish, and then come up by 2 inches on my waistline. Then you repeat the same process. You open the dart by half inch on both sides at the waistline, and you take it up. So if also coming down by 1 inch on the bust point works for you for your back dart, you can also do that. Okay, now the back is almost done. Some persons, they would say they do encounter some challenges that after sewing their zipper, the zipper part of their fabric will be bulging out and the rest of it. I've not really noticed that. I just cut mine straight like this, though the back is not entirely straight, but I cut mine straight this way and it's not been bulging or puffing up. But if yours have been having that kind of challenge, this is what you need to do. So from the center of fold, this is the folded part, mark half inch before and after the zip allowance line. Half inch before the zip allowance line, and then half inch after the zip allowance line. Then after marking it, you can connect it to the tip of your dress. Sorry. Just to give it a little slant inwards, okay? And this also, you connect it like so. So this is going to serve as the new zipper allowance for the back bodice. But if you're not having any problem with your zip at the back, I don't think there's need for this. Just like me, I don't do it, but I'm just doing it for the sake of those that are having that challenge. So once you're done cutting, do not forget to add your sewing allowance. I only added 1 to this. I usually add 2 when I am cutting. So this is the back piece is ready. There's no need for the bust dart at the back. I've already eliminated the extra 1 inch we added for the front. So please, if you find this tutorial helpful, do not forget to give us a thumbs up. If you have any problem, any challenge, please also make your comments, leave them in the comment section, and be sure we'll get back to you depending on whatever challenge you are having. So please, if you're new, subscribe to our channel and support us so we can have the zeal to release more video. All right, have a nice time and do take care of yourself. Bye.